So my name is Patricia. I'm from Kenya, student at the University of Nairobi. And here in Kenya, we have a climate action plan project. And our goal is to achieve a 25 tree cover within the country, to incorporate climate actions within young generations in the country, to ensure collective responsibility in curbing climate change effects, and to integrate climate mitigation measures into the country policies. The objective of our project is to give an overview on climate change and climate action, to define climate within the country and evidences that the climate is changing, to investigate land use in different counties and tree cover areas in the country, to evaluate different tree species, their survival rates and adaptation in different parts of the country, to determine various carbon negative projects to be adopted among younger generations, and to identify involvement of different sectors in the implementation process. This because we find that we can't deal with the issue of climate change alone. We need help from other stakeholders and maybe partners. So our expected outcomes are to use of creative ways to reuse waste in the schools. So we are focusing mainly in schools and both primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. We also expect to plant trees on bare lands within the schools in the country. This because we found that many schools in our country, they have bare land which they don't use, so we plan on using that land by planting trees. Installation of waste dustbins in the compound. Many schools here in Kenya, especially the government schools, they don't have waste dustbins, so we plan on giving them waste dustbins. Establishment of nurseries within the schools, both trees and fruits. This because we've seen that having nurseries will help us to grow more trees, and it is cheaper than when you go and purchase the trees themselves. Communal cleanups within the schools region. We plan on engaging the students to clean up in their hometowns, and as well as also teaching them the importance of doing that. Use of non-renewable sources of energy within the institutions. This is mainly because here, many schools and institutions, they use firewood, which is not environmental friendly, and hence we plan on introducing the non-renewable sources of energy like solar in the institutions, which will be cheaper and it will be good for even our health. Next, engagement of the 4K clubs in climate change mitigations. The 4K clubs have been there in Kenya, but they had died, but now the president revived them back. And so we're also trying to bring them back and engage the students, and also tell the teachers, staff, the importance of having these clubs in schools. The overview of the plan. The main aim of the plan is to ensure we have absorbed the carbon dioxide that is in the atmosphere, to create various carbon stocks within the country. Our main target audience for the project will be the younger generation within our institutions. This because the younger generations, they are not really engaged with matters climate change. We feel that like they think it's not that serious, but we need to involve them and show them that it is indeed very serious. On the issue of the establishment of nurseries within the schools, the plan is to teach, like I've said, to teach the students how to establish and manage a tree nursery. This is mainly because of the difficulty of procuring tree seeds, and they are raising costs, makes it necessary to find means to increase seedling survival and growth. We also saw that when we start an nursery, it will give the students a sense of responsibility, because we are going to like tell them to go and find the seeds, and then now from there we can we can grow them. This will also show them that how the trees come to be, and I think should be a very interesting learning process for them, especially the younger kids. So why fruit trees? So like we've said, we're going to have the exotic trees and also the fruit trees. And the trees, this because they're fruit trees, it's because trees and forests play an essential role in mitigating the impact of climate change. Planting trees, and to be specific, planting fruit trees is one of the most important things we can do to contribute to the health of the planet. At a time when learners are increasingly disconnected from nature, the seasons, and the process of food production, a school orchard offers a great way to re-engage them with the natural world. So this will give them a sense of even connecting with Mother Nature. So what a better way to help learners understand the range of issues around food production than getting them to grow their own. A school orchard will help them explore plant growth and care, global trade, food and nutrition security, environmental conservation, as well as carbon footprint. Um, Next is the fruit trees in all our schools countrywide will not only make our schools green and attractive, but will also be a source of nutrition to our learners, a habitat for animals, and a source of income, as the excess fruits will be sold to both the local and international markets. So you'll find that mostly in schools, like I said before, in public schools, they don't really have, they're not given fruits in schools. So it's either you get them from home, but in school they are not given. So you've introduced the plan of having these fruit trees in the schools. It will motivate the students to be more active in growing the trees, and because now they'll see the benefits of growing the trees. So this initiative is designed to contribute to the ongoing government's 10% forest cover policy, as well as the SDGs number 1, 2, 4, 13, and 15, aimed at combating climate change, poverty, hunger, and the promotion of food and nutrition security, as well as environmental conservation and protection. So in order for this to work, for this project to work, we are deciding to have it in it should be a 2-year plan, and in the 2-year plan we have divided it into 4 quarters, whereby in the year 1, the first quarter will start from September 2021 to November 2021, and the activities that will be involved include like reviewing of climatic conditions in the country, identification of institutions where the tree planting event will take place, establishment of environmental clubs within the institutions, such as the 4K clubs and other environmental clubs that will have a with. So we'll also have field visits the various institutions as to have correct data on the number as well as the type of trees to be planted. The responsibility will fall onto the climate student movement here in Kenya, and we estimate our cost to be around 300,000 Kenyan shillings. So in our next quarter, which will start from November 2021 to Feb 2022, the activities that we plan on having are establishment of tree and fruit nurseries in the identified institutions, acquisition of materials and land acquisitions and preparations. So we have to go there and make sure that the schools are willing to give us the land for us to plant the trees. The person responsible, again, it's climate student movement here in Kenya, and we estimated the cost to be around 500k Kenyan shillings. That is in quarter 3, which will begin from Feb 2022 to April 2022. The activities will be growing of the seedlings now, maintenance and monitoring of the nurseries. The activities here will be like watering, weeding, and putting fertilizers. So we have to know where we get the water from, the weeding, we have to get the materials for weeding. Here we use pangas or fork jembes, and even now putting the fertilizers, we have to know where we can purchase them. Again, climate student movement will be responsible for that, and the estimated cost refund should be around 800,000 Kenyan shillings. So again, as a project, it is just on the verge of finding the funds and all that. In quarter four, which will begin in April 2022 to September 2022, the activities would be to conduct environmental education in the various schools that have been identified in the country. So once we've identified the institutions and the schools, we'll have to give the students a talk and talk on the matters to do with environment, and tell them why it is very important for us to come and plant trees and why they should be involved in planting the trees. Again, climate student movement and the various stakeholders such as the county governments. We have various counties, so we were planning on using the county governments, the Kenya Forest Service, the Kenya Wildlife Services, and the Ministry of Education, as well as NEMA, which stands for the National Environmental Management Authority. They'll come into place in to help us with this project. Again, the cost is estimated to be around 500,000 Kenyan shillings. In year one. So in our year two, again, divided into 4 quarters, we have the first quarter, which is September 2022 to December 2022. Activities involved will be acquiring of planting tools. Like I said, you use spade, fork jembes, pangas, and reflector jackets or t-shirts. Transportation of the seedlings across the country. So we have to move them from point A to point B, though we're planning on establishing them in the schools themselves, but again, we have to move the seed from one part of the country to the other. Tree planting now across the country. Okay, we'll need drinking water and lunch for the volunteers, because we are going to involve volunteers in doing this project. Again, CSM Kenya will be responsible for that, together with the stakeholders and partners. Estimated it will be 950,000 Kenyan shillings. In quarter two, which now starts from Jan 2023 to April 2023, the activities will be creation of botanic garden within the identified institutions. Again, environmental education on the importance of having a botanical garden. And the importance includes helping in scientific research, conservation of plants, as well as making the world's plant species diversity known to the public. This also plays very a central role in meeting human needs and providing well-being. So the botanic gardens, they'll be very helpful, because now, like here in Kenya, most of the old species of trees, the indigenous ones, they have been cut down. We don't have them anymore. So by having this, you can plant maybe 1 or 2, and then the surviving ones, then you can name them, and then now people, not only now the students, but now everyone, the public, can come in and they'll see the various types of trees. CSM Kenya and the various stakeholders and partners are responsible for that, and the cost is around 100K. And then May 2023 to July 2023, the activities will be involved maybe tree avenue planting in different institutions within the country, as well as along the Kenyan roads. These will be mainly for beautification and for environmental conservation. Yes, we need this in our roads. Environmental education on having avenue tree planting will also be given to the general public, and everyone everyone who will listen. The again, climate student movement Kenya and the stakeholders will be responsible for that. The cost is estimated to be around 500,000 Kenyan shillings, and then finally the last quarter, we have maintenance and monitoring of trees planted, as well as the botanic gardens and avenue trees. So after now planting the trees and now they are growing, we need now to go back and check whether they're still surviving, if some do not make it, we need to replace them with other trees. And again, CSM movement here in Kenya will be responsible for that, and the cost is around 800K. So apart from that, we plan also on introducing CSM in various institutions here in Kenya, because we found that not many people are aware of climate student movement. And so we plan on introducing them so that they can also be the volunteers that we need. In terms of partnership, we've been lucky to have SDSM Kenya. They're also having the same project, I would say. Yeah, so we plan on working with them. Yes, and so yeah, that's what we're Kenya project. That's what's mainly about. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Patricia. What a great and ambitious project you've been showing us. And we don't have time for questions now, but we'll be happy to hear more and discuss more about that in our meeting in November. So thank you very much.